Decorating Pages is a podcast dedicated to taking you behind the scenes of the designs of your favorite TV shows and films. Each episode, I'll be sharing design stories from some of Hollywood's most famous sets. Interviews from set decorators, production designers, directors, and actors about creating the look of TV and film, about their design inspirations, and stories that take sets from page to screen. Hello, and welcome to Decorating Pages. I'm your host, Kim Wanup. Oh, how's it going? We're only 2 weeks into this strike, people. Feels longer, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like it's been a while? I love seeing all those people out there picketing. No, I gotta be honest. I love the passion, and I fully support the WGA. I hope it goes quickly. But, yeah. I just love that people, in any realm of protest or whatever, just being passionate enough to get out there and be a part of it. So I'm always a fan and in awe of people who take those stances, good or bad. You know, I don't agree with everyone, but you know, it's America, and you gotta realize how great it is that we are able to do that. I finished up a commercial last week, and it went really well. I'm going to be honest. It was kind of like a Good Place reunion, if I can just let that out. And I kind of had a smile on my face probably the whole time. Just being with the same people. I'm so fortunate to find really good people to work with and have them come in and out of my career, and I'm just very thankful to always get in the same room with a lot of these people. So it was nice. I wish we had taken a picture, and I had said it at one point, and then chaos ensues, and everybody at the end, everyone just like, let me get out of here. So that was fun, and it's over. And just to clarify, I guess commercials are under a different contract, so writers can work on them. So I guess that's why everybody's doing commercials, ish. I haven't heard of any strike negotiation dates of when shit's coming up to talk again. I don't know when that happens. But I was thinking I was going to maybe reach out to a writer or two who I know. But if you are a writer and you would like to talk about the strike or talk about the process of writing, please email me if you'd like to be on the podcast, kimwanup@decoratingpagespodcast.com, or any position and you want to talk about the strike. Maybe we just talk about it, people. Maybe we all just come to a little bit of more understanding as to what we all need and want and hope for. And I'm sure it's all just wanting it to be fair. So yeah. So I got that going on. I mean, I had a great Mother's Day weekend. Happy belated Mother's Day to any mothers. It was very sweet. I could tear up just thinking about my little boys expressing their love and gratitude. And and then, you get taken to the edge and you think about, oh, they're so sweet. And then you come back. But I feel like I didn't watch a lot, and then as I was just writing down what I watched this week, I did. I did finish A Man Named Otto, production designed by Barbara Lang and set decorated by Frank Galline, Michael Amato, and Jessica Anderson. I started it on a plane, only got about 20 minutes into it, and then finished it this week, and it's a sweet movie. I understand why Tom Hanks agreed to do it. At first, I was like, what is this shit? But it's very sweet and touching, and it's good. It's a nice one. You'll cry. If you want to cry, watch A Man Named Otto, I would say. The other thing that is finally back, which I know I mentioned way long ago, is an HBO show called The Other Two. And it's Molly Shannon, and she's got 3 kids, and the youngest kid is like a superstar, and then it's about the other 2 siblings who like want to make it in the business. And I just found it kind of hysterical, and I binged those first 2 seasons, and then this 3rd season is out Production design by Rico Gamirez, and then set decorator Nicole Montenegro. Montanino. God, man, I'm sorry. Anyway, the show I think is funny. It's because it's like about Hollywood and all the ridiculousness of actors sometimes and creatives. And so there's this really ridiculous aspect to it, which I find, and Molly Shannon is just super funny in it. It's on HBO. It's a good one to binge. It's super quick. Watching Schmegadoon, season 2 on Apple. Production designer Jamie McCall will be on the podcast in a couple weeks. We'll talk about that. I'm continuing on with Shrinking. It's good. I like it. I'm getting there with Ted Lasso. I'm going to power through this last season. I don't love Ted Lasso. I don't understand what the big draw is, but then I do. It's nice. And it's not mean. And it's not super complicated. It's no Succession. So I get why people like it. So I don't feel like I need to talk about it with everybody because everybody's just like on board with it and we all accept that somehow. Marvelous Miss Maisel, this last season I feel is just fantastic. And fantastic storytelling and trying to button it all up. And again, Tony Shalhoub, what a creatively genius actor. I just love him in this role, and I'm going to be really sad that he's gone. So, little note here, if you are a SDSA member, Set Decorator Society of America, and you would like to have your TV show put into the mix for voting for the SDSA TV Awards, submissions are now open. Voting and nominations are in June, and the winner is announced, I think, early July. I think I wrote that down there. So yeah, go to it. I know the BAFTA TV Awards were this week, and Kate Winslet and that show Bad Sisters that I want to watch won. So I got to get on that. That I'm going to binge. I'm going to try to binge that this week. Let you know how that goes. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I got a lot of shit to do while I'm off now. It's a very weird feeling when, almost like a COVID feeling, like I have no control of being out of work, and it's kind of terrifying. And you can't really relax. You can't really plan anything. Like if I wanted to go home and see my family in July, I don't know, we might be back by then, knock wood. But it's a very weird state of to be in here. I'm in limbo, really. A lot of us are just in limbo waiting for this to get settled. So again, any writers or anyone you know who wants to talk about it, let me know. And maybe we'll get to that. That would be good. In this episode, I chat with production designer Clarence Major and his designs on the Amazon show The Consultant. Clarence shares his creative process and the inspiration behind his use of color and the dramatic staircase design that captivates the main set of the show. Clarence also discusses his journey as an art director into production designer and kind of an amazing story about starting out designing raves in Los Angeles and many, many commercials and, again, his move from art direction to production design. So I hope you enjoy.
I've been in every aspect of the art department.
Right. You've had every position, it looks like, which is great.
I've been in...
Which is, we all should, because it's a learning process, and then you know what people do.
Right.
And you can expect the same demands that you would put on yourself, and that's how I think. If I think it's too hard or that's too much, if I would do it, then I'm not going to put that on that person's plate, and depending who the person is. But it's vital to know what an assistant art director is responsible for, and a set designer, and the PA and everything. It's vital to know all that, because it only helps you as a designer, as a decorator in my world, and to divvy up, because we can't all get it done ourselves. That's the biggest thing. So Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't do these things by ourselves, you know.
No, 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 no.
Uh, and you know, I've been a decorator, I've been a lead man, I've been, a sculptor, a painter, a
Yeah.
carpenter, a truck driver. I built props. I, you know, managed a scene doc. You know, so it
What
I can know your pain. You know what I
exactly?
mean?
Exactly. So you just busted out of Nebraska and was like, "All right, I'm
Oh
here.
no, no.
I'm here. I'll do anything. Let's get this
No,
going." Because
no,
that's
no,
how
no.
the rest. I think that's how everybody kind of is. Of like, I'll do anything. I'll learn. Let's go. Or was it? Did you work? You
Oh,
went to New
so
York. Did you say?
so I moved here with my mom. My father's a writer. If you look me up, you usually find him. I'm the third,
Oh.
and so I'm so I come from both my parents were creatives. They went to the Chicago Institute of Art, and my father's a painter and a writer and a professor. My mom was she's no longer with us, but she was a graphic artist and somewhat of a she's mostly a fine artist, but she was a like an art therapist to children of battered women.
Oh yeah. I,
And
I'm
so,
I'm involved with a charity of that, a window between worlds.
oh,
But yeah,
okay.
so I know all about it. Yeah, it's
So
wonderful, wonderful therapy for children.
I see. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't that involved with all of that. So but yeah. So we moved here, um, and I lived with my mom. I didn't live with my dad. My dad was in Europe for most of my childhood.
Mm.
Um, and so I was here in LA, and I went to school for psychology first,
That
and then
helps. That helps in this world, in
it
our
does, it
business.
does. And I, um, was just trying to bounce around and not really knowing where I wanted to go. I started doing clubs. I did raves, and so that's how I kind of got into film was through raves.
Oh wow,
I was creating these raves, and people said, "Wow, you should be a decorator."
that's
And
incredible. You're like doing raves, and was
I,
this like in the '90s, like late '90s?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So we would get spaces, and I mean they're illegal. You know,
yeah. No, I know.
so, I had one, and I did in a junkyard, which was really cool. Called what was that called? I forgot what that was called. Anyway, but I built robots and built characters. We did one called superheroes, which was like and I was sort of in and out of film,
Mm.
sort of.
You should have
Yeah,
worked on Go. Remember Go? That
I remember
whole
that.
that
Yeah,
movie about and they went to a
Tom
rave.
Tom Wilkins, didn't he design it?
Probably. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I that was such a
Oh,
good movie for the time.
oh yeah, yeah. And Tom's a good friend. And he told me about those conversations that he had with
Was
who
it
was it?
Doug Lyman?
Doug Lyman.
Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Lyman.
Yeah. Nut.
Is he?
I've heard he is. I've heard
Yeah,
he's
me
super
too. I heard.
nice. Super nice too, but I've also heard he's a nut. So I don't know. I don't know. I've
Yeah,
never
I
met
mean,
him.
I think he's on the. He might be on the spectrum or
Yeah,
something.
super talented. I love his movies. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
you
I
could
love that.
never bash swingers in front of me. You never.
I love that story. And this is kind of, I don't know if we should go down this road, but I love Doug Lyman about what he did with that scene with the first born, and
Mhm.
they had shot in Budapest or something like
Oh,
that, and they
wow.
were in Paris, and they couldn't. The last scene of the movie, the studio was really angry that he had gone over budget or something like that, and he he made a deal. They made a kind of a pact between him and who's the actor from
On Firstborn?
yeah,
Oh, the Firstborn is Matt Damon.
Matt.
Yeah.
So they made this whole deal. I don't know if you know this story.
No. The
He
Born
would
Identity?
yeah,
Yeah.
the scene where they're the both of them are they're going to kill each other, right?
Right.
They hadn't shot the coverage. They hadn't got it. And so the producer was like, no way you're going to do it. As soon as he starts shooting, we're going to turn the cameras off, the whole thing. And he goes, he goes, I'm going to shoot it myself. He grabbed the camera. It's back then when you had film.
Right.
10, he said, I'm going to shoot this. They're not going to stop me until, they're not going to stop me in the middle of shooting. So I'm going to shoot this myself and then run around and shoot the coverage.
And shoot cover. And yeah.
They got it. They got that scene. I think that's the most beautiful scene. And that is just like what film is.
That's what film is. That's the passion right there. Like, I'll just shoot my own coverage on my shoulder and I'll do it myself. I mean, I know people who go out with iPhones to get cover, like you know, B-roll and shit. Like, that's that's what you got to do. That's the passion there. Yeah, he's good.
I'm sorry for jumping over to that subject, but so I was doing raves and I started to from there I thought someone said, okay, start working, you know, and you know, as a PA, and I was able to get onto some commercials and work with some production designers.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know, I'm going to go. I'm really going to pursue this. I went back to art. I went to Art Center. I also did graduate work in human development, so at Pacific Oaks College.
You had a fallback.
Well, I mean, I think it dovetails into what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Human relationships. You know what it is to be human and to design for humans.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, design degree and a human development degree work hand in hand. And so, and then I started to work for Alex Haidu.
Oh, yeah.
And so Alex Haidu, you know, that's where I managed I did everything for him. I broke down scripts. We did budgets. I did, you know, research. You know, we had a shop. He had a shop. You know, I ran the shop. We had a prop house next door. We had a scene dock, so we could rent scenery to people. I did. I think I did maybe about 50 commercials for him, and I did. We did a couple of movies, and yeah, I was a set designer, model maker, you know, sculptor, painter, you know, everything. I just kind of did all that, and I was kind of going back and forth to Art Center at the time. So then just from there, I just started to, you know, do music videos and commercials. Kind of stayed in that world for a while.
Yeah. Doesn't it seem like forever? Doesn't it seem like, I'm just waiting. For me, it felt like forever to get into the union when really it was like 2 years or so. Like when I was in it, it felt so long. Like, this is never going to happen. It's a catch-22. I'm never getting in. Like,
I mean, my adventure into getting into the union is a little bit different, but I was forced into the union.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you were working non-union shows, and then
I was working non-union and union. Well, not union. I was working non-union. So that was all non-union. And so I was doing a commercial for Reebok, but I got the head scenic for 829. I'm also an 829. I haven't paid my dues for a long time, but anyway. So the head scenic was my scenic. I was like, We busted because we were shooting on a Saturday, right? We were thinking, okay, we're going to get away with this. I got a letter saying, hey, we are inviting you to join the union. We see that you are in New York doing a job.
Ooh,
I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's my little story about the union. That's how I got into the union.
They had eyes on you. You were there.
Yes. Yeah. But it was a weekend, so that's how we were able to think we'd sort of get away with it until I got back.
Do you still do commercials?
I just finished a commercial with Errol Morrison. You know Errol Morrison?
No.
Fog of War.
Oh, Fog of War. I love Fog of War.
Yeah, he did Thin Blue Line.
Oh. How do I not know that name? That's dumb of me.
No. It's I mean, you know, great guy, really cool. And we just did a bank commercial. Nothing, it was simple.
Isn't it funny, banking? I did a block of like, I think it was Citibank or Capital One. And we had this really cool, hot director. And I just don't even understand why they hire these big people to do these spots, because they're so, I don't know, it boggles my mind. I've only done a handful of commercials. I don't get it. I don't like doing it. I feel like I don't know my place. I feel like I'm not really decorating. I feel like I'm a buyer, or I mean the pace of it and everything is fine. I get it. I don't get like, oh, we need a completely different this right now. And you're like, what? That sucks if that ever happens. But that happens anywhere. But I never really understand why they get these like amazing directors to do these 30-second spots. Like the guy in Omaha, like no one's, they're gonna buy the beer or they're not. Like no, they're gonna go to Capital One or not. Like,
well, there's a science behind it, you know.
There must be.
It's all situated in you know, lots of studies behind you know, advertisement. And so and I mean, you know, that's where I came from, you know, advertisement, you know, kind of world, and really isolating, you know, what that hero product is all about, you know.
Right. So so it's all about the product. It's all eyes, all eyes on the product.
Yeah.
What how did you get involved with the consultant? Were you there from the beginning?
I was there from the beginning, yeah. And so I got a call. So Ramsey was the he designed the pilot. And I was the art director, and I took over from you know, 2 to 8. And so we only had the pilot script, so it's like,
you didn't know if you were getting into something huge or like not. That's scary.
I love the concept of all of it. I mean, but it was crazy because we only had I don't know. How much do you know about the show? And
I watched it all. I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had 4 weeks and 3 days to do the pilot.
You had 4 weeks and 3 days to do that whole office.
Design and build it. And it's an office that had cubicles, but not the cubicles that you can move out.
Yeah, they were built
walls and you know, conduit and steel, and I did that over a weekend and then start building. I built that staircase in 6 days, I think.
The staircase is fantastic. The whole upper floor and how it looks down into the room and how you can shoot and have his point of view. Oh, that's fantastic.
So this is I'm just kind of working on my sketches.
Yeah.
We're reworking some of the sketches because I had no time.
So this,
I mean, it was crazy.
Glass staircase.
Steel, yeah.
That has a perspective to it. I mean, it's not just a full one. It goes in so that when you're looking at whoever's up there talking, you're visually pointed into who's up there. It's really
Yeah, I mean,
beautiful.
I love Calatrava. You know
Mm-hmm.
the
The artist, is it an artist?
he's actually an engineer.
Mm.
You've seen his work before. He mostly does bridges, but he has some buildings and train stations and things like that.
Mm.
And he's Spanish engineer. So I mean, my concept, my idea around the staircase was to kind of create something that was um, uh, sort of um, based on kind of his Padoff's personality.
Mm.
And so to make you, so 3 points are the least amount of points that you can have for to hold something up in engineering,
Mm-hmm.
engineering wise. And so, but it's the most, uh, you know, uh, scary kind of. I wanted it to be fearful,
Yeah.
because you have to look down, and
Because it's
I
glass.
designed it
It's
to be
see-through. It's glass. It's
see-through.
opaque. Yeah.
So I was going to just have little pieces holding the glass in place, and just like the
Like
3 places. You look at
like aircraft cable or something. Like
no. I mean, you still need steel,
yeah.
but if you look at that little piece right there,
Oh
there are
yeah.
3 pieces right
It
that are
has a
holding the glass
pinpoint.
up.
Mm-hmm.
The engineers were like, "Oh no, you need a piece of steel underneath that." So I had a little piece of steel underneath that, but it was all about making it nerve-wracking and fearful. And Christoph just really utilized that staircase in a way that I never thought he would, but it
Yeah.
is
And
it's a
there's a whole plot point of like him going up and down the staircase, and you don't know why he's afraid, and you don't know why he's like maybe he's injured, or maybe he has a fear of the glass or anything. So I think the materials that you use prompted so many other thoughts from the viewer of why he's afraid to go up and down these stairs, and then it reveals itself in the later episodes.
yeah.
But it's great, and I was wondering if that was written in, if that was like
No,
no,
no.
no.
And I mean, Ramsey has a role in that. I mean, the concept was to have the stairs, and that was him, and having the logo. We kind of played with that together. The logo over the top of the head, which is the maze,
Right.
and the maze behind. So it's all about entrapment, desperation, and sinister, pulling you into this maze, and then once you're in it, how do I get out of it? And so, as I took it on from the season, from the pilot, I wanted to make sure that I was trying to say, listen, there's a shiny object here. I'm pulling you in. So go from the modern to a dungeon. And so the whole idea is like, you're being ensnared, and then now you're in the maze, you're in the labyrinth. And how do I get out? And oh my God, there are those prison bars. So Beth and I, we played with all those ideas, and you can, if you look, maybe you look again. Now you'll start to kind of see, the monitors are representational of prison bars. We put bars on those.
The big wall that you have all the monitors at the waiting area.
Yeah. And I mean that's mostly Ramsey, and I kind of took that same theme into like the basement, when we're going to the basement. So you're coming from this high-tech office, go into an elevator, which is kind of high-tech, go to the basement, and then it opens up into a
like
server
room. Yeah.
And if you look at the top of the server, if you look from the top of the server room, I made it as a maze. It's a labyrinth. That's why you don't go directly into the records room.
Right.
And so as you're moving from the modern, the shiny object, into a cave or a dungeon, which is that room. And so that's why decayed walls and Tony, the showrunner, wanted, dripping water, and I was like, we sort of got there, but it was all about because he liked that. Like, this book Chaos.
No, I don't know that book. You got a lot of flags in there too. Let me put that on my reading list. Chaos by who?
This is what that server room is going to be.
Oh yeah.
Is going to be.
It's a picture of like a origami
maze,
type maze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good book. No one knew there was a records room in the basement, and then it is this little, like, did the guy set it up, or was it always there? And then also the key also gives away a little bit that it's older and not techie, that it's part of the building and not really a part of their world.
Right.
So I was wondering too if that was creative, what you just said, like they wanted it to look different, they wanted it to feel older and damp and paper, which there's not really any paper in the rest of the show except for his desk.
We did the pilot, and then we weren't sure it was going to come back, and I sort of pushed that concept.
Mm-hmm.
I came to the table and said, listen, this is when I'm reading Tony's work, I'm seeing this. What do you think? And so that's how we kind of moved into that kind of dungeon kind of scenario. And I did the same thing with the set for the jewelry store, going from the shiny and then going to his workbench and then going into the smelting room.
Yeah, the smelting room was great.
Thanks.
That was fantastic, with everything hanging and the dark shadows and then just the glow of him melting all this gold. Like, that was a great set. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I really I was really happy about that. Because I really saw that. And we went through a lot of different iterations because I had it underground. I had it going into a basement. Couldn't afford that, but and then I had swinging doors and like a little outside area because you need lots of. I've actually done smelting.
You need ventilation, don't you?
You need ventilation. So I did have a back door. That's why I had the fan in. But I think that was that's the same sort of thing. I'm just trying to take you, and so there's no linear lines. So I wanted to make sure that you were forced into a maze, or you're in the labyrinth, and it's causing you to feel uneasy.
Yeah.
But
well, what I also liked about it, having just worked a lot with servers, is that it didn't look to me like normal servers. Like, there was panels with just singular lights, and then I was like, well, what the hell are they doing there? like what? So I think it also broke me of like, oh, is there something else going on there, that these servers are different looking, and then are the lights like meaningful when he walks in and he walks out?
Sure.
So I thought it was lit great too when he's walking through there, or Ellen's walking through there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great, who knows what this is? Who knows if it's their servers or it's some other force that he's come down here to get power from or whatever. I was looking for tons of clues of who is this character? But,
yeah. I mean, I just wanted it to mimic the idea of that maze, and then I made sure that they were rentals, so we We got those from LCW or something like
Yeah.
that. But I made sure that the fixtures department redid all the light fixtures in them.
Yeah.
And so that we would
They
have
have to.
double sided
Yeah.
because, they're just,
Yeah.
LCW's front.
They're great,
And so
but
we
yeah.
could control them as he walked through, because the whole idea was, we don't know who this guy is. They're blue at first, and then, oh my God, they're flashing red, and then now they're all red. And so it was all about making sure that as we moved down that entrapment, that you got that clue.
Yeah.
And so, and then the club was also the same sort of thing. I went from,
the club is fantastic. That back bar is fantastic. So was the bar a build? Or was it a location with a lot of build in it?
Yeah, it was a location build. It was crazy because I had we had 6-day shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's half hour. You had 6-day shoots. Did you block shoot?
Block shoot. Yeah. No prep in between.
Right.
It's really sucked.
Right.
And I had 3 weeks prep.
In the beginning to do episode 2?
Episode 2 through 8.
Right. You had 3 weeks to start up, and you started shooting 2, and then you're block shooting 2, 3. No break, no hiatus in between.
No break.
Yeah.
No break.
Yeah, man. I hear you. I don't know what happened to hiatuses. I don't know who's put the kibosh on that since COVID. I don't know why we don't get that little gem of a exhale.
Yeah.
Or breathing.
That was just, it was pretty intense. But, it is what it is. And I took it in stride. But the thing is, it was promised that, okay, we have this big build at the end of, it was Dan Adius, who was the director.
Oh, yeah.
And we had that big build at the end of the episode or the block. But of course, it moves up to the first day.
First day, yes. Of course it does. Of course.
And we didn't lock the location until like 2 days or 3 days before. So I was thinking I was having like 10 days or something like that.
Right.
But I didn't have any time.
So you had the nightclub. Did you build the bathroom?
No,
the bathroom,
didn't build the bathroom.
The urinal wall.
I made those eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
And then I love those light up tables. I don't know where Beth found those, but I dig them.
I made them.
Oh, you made them. I was gonna say I don't know where they came from. I've never seen those rented before.
No.
They're fantastic. They're like cones of light with like.
Which ones?
The
one for the party.
Oh wait, I guess that was at the party at the end.
Yeah. So I had used those on something else, and I knew about them, and I worked in Istanbul, and so I used those on a set, and they're from, what is it? Court furniture.
Oh, no way.
Court furniture, because I work all over the place, right? And so I have to have, the same kind of high style, and you can get them anywhere in the planet. And so I had known about these, and I had used them in like a music video I did years ago, and they discontinued these.
Ugh.
I had my contact there in Orange County, and I called him, and he said, "Oh yeah, we have them, but you can buy them because they were rentals, right?"
Right, from Court.
And so Beth was like, "What?" And so she loved those, and we bought them. And she's like, "Oh no, you can't, Clarence. No one, because we're going to sell them on the show or something like this." She's like, "Oh no, I'm going to put those in some prop house so I can re-rent them."
Yes. Well, I'm going to have to ask her where they are. So they're like a 42-inch high, like a cocktail table, but it's a cone, and it's all lit inside. Yeah. It's like a white. It's not clear.
It's like milk
glass,
it's like it's like plastic.
Yeah.
And so there's an oval that sits on top.
Yeah.
And it's three screws that hold it in place, and there's like a little cup in the center. And I think those were made for like flower arrangements or something like that in the center.
No, smart.
Yeah. So yeah, so she was like, "Oh, Clarence, great!" We were able to kind of put that because I wanted to have light pieces, but in the bar, I did make those.
The square light tables that they sit at, right? In the bar. Yeah, those are great too.
Thanks. And then so it was kind of The Shining when he goes to the bar, and so that was the whole idea. And as he comes in, they didn't show it too much in the show, but I designed it so that when he comes out of the elevator, it was a glass elevator that goes up.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the money for that, so when he comes out of the elevator, it's like a tunnel, and I also had light fixtures that came down, so you couldn't see it. He didn't shoot it that way, but I was trying to force you into a smaller space to open up into a wide space. And so that was, and then I made those light fixtures so that they would point directly toward the table.
Oh, yeah.
And so those are just rental Asteratubes that I made as a marionette. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's never going to work." So I designed it in like a couple of 15 minutes and had them build it, and we just popped those things in, and that became the light fixtures within the space. And then this was the other thing about Beth and I really kind of talking through endangerment and entrapment. And so if you notice behind Craig there's a circle light fixture that's made out of bars, gold bars.
In the office or?
In the club.
In the club.
In the club.
I think I'm above their table.
Above their table were these knives, and that is sort of, and Beth always says, "Hey, that's not what this is," but for me, it was a sword of Damocles. I don't know if you know what that is, a sword of Damocles. And so, anyway, I won't go down.
Is it a clue?
But knives are out above your head. And so that's what that light fixture is all about, is about impending danger.
I don't know if I realized that they were knives. I have a visual of the fixture. Right. And then the circular one was over like by the cocktail tables. Was that where that was?
Yeah. So we had different light fixtures throughout the space. I had a blue crying tree.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I was like, I wanted to make sure that we got that. So here's and everyone's
this is why I thought the club was
$10,000. This is my drawing for that tree. And they were like, "No way. It's going to cost $50,000. I went to Jackson. I went to
Green Sets
and
where was this location?
This is a W.
Oh.
Here. So there's that's right behind the hero table, right?
The W up on the roof?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would have never known that.
Yeah, because I completely transformed the whole place.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so that doesn't even look like, I changed the whole bar.
Yeah.
This bar right here, it's all padded or like
And that was day one, huh?
This is day one, and it never stopped.
No. Because your builds were... Where did you shoot this?
We shot at Amazon or at Cobra Studios.
And so you had... Craig's apartment was a build?
Craig.
Was that a build?
Elaine.
Elaine.
The jewelry store.
Jewelry store. The huge offices. The basement. The room.
Yeah. Yeah. I did also the center courtyard for Craig. That's also on stage.
Oh yeah.
And then from the pilot, I redid the, we were down for the exterior. We were downtown initially, which was a more elaborate set. And Tony, the showrunner, was like, "Hey, I don't want it to be as what that was." And so I redesigned that whole piece in the marina, because that's where we shot.
Did you move his office?
Like that's the front of that bar. I had
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah.
That's just foam. I spent $300 on foam. I made the design on my way to the office.
Oh my God.
On a drawing, and I texted to the assistant art director, Andrew Chung, and he was like, and he made it for me. And we got it made, like $300 to do the whole face.
Your construction coordinator must love you.
Well,
jumping in.
No. I mean, because he's, well, I'm from, I built 7 towns in Panama for a movie.
Yeah, I mean, you're jumping in. Most people is like, here's what I want by. Like, you're jumping in. You're figuring it out. Like, he's got to appreciate that.
Okay. I don't know another way.
It could go another way, but you seem like a nice guy. I don't know if it would go that way. I think you, in the design, were really careful not to give anything away also. It's not like there's a ton of like Easter eggs here and there of what the ending of this is, or at least I think from episode 1, my husband and I watched the first 2 together, and he kind of called it out, and I was like, it can't be that. Like, it can't be, what's that? The door designs, yeah.
The door. And that, you see the little blue thing? That was going to be the handle.
Oh, fun.
I couldn't pull that one off. But you and your husband, you were saying?
Time and money. Oh, just like trying to figure out like what's going on in this show, and
I know.
And I think the real pull too is Christoph Waltz is just so, subtle, but so direct in his performance that you question who he is and why he's there and everything also. So, but I did want to ask, when you said you redid the set, did you move the head office? Did you move that? Or was it because his blinds were shut a lot that I was like, where is the geography of his office now?
Oh, you're so interesting, because you're a decorator. You're seeing, and you're trying to navigate the set. And that's true. I mean, we did not move it. What happened was we had designed the whole office, right? Mm-hmm. And it was pretty intense, because we only had, we had 5 weeks initially.
Right.
And then there were all these budgetary issues, and so we lost a whole nother week. And so that's why you only have 4 weeks and 3 days. This is the set, right?
Oh, that's he's showing in like an exploded set, right? Floor plan, yeah.
And so, if you see, it was supposed to be a bridge that goes across here,
right,
into the manager's offices, and so you're not able to kind of understand. So this whole thing enters in,
right?
But we couldn't get a permit to do that, so we had to close it off.
Because it reads that way in the pilot. It reads like that the kids just went up and went right into that first glass office. At least to me.
Yeah, that's true. No, that is it. But we the permit, the city would not let us. We ripped the whole thing out.
Right.
Right.
From between pilot and episode 2.
No, this is the pilot.
Oh.
And so what happened was we weren't able to. So I had ripped the back of the thing off to make the hole go through. There is no hole. There is
Oh.
no. We put this chamber in that, so it seemed like you're going to go into kind of a chamber, which represents the same thing as the front of the building, which is sort of a cave or a prison.
Mm-hmm.
And so the same thing about the front of his office. And so it's green screen inside of there.
Oh.
So you see that
I
inside of
would
his
have
office?
never known that.
You see that that's the office right there.
The thing that I keyed in on is the blinds on glass is really hard to do.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you always have like they always want to turn them, or they always the whole window has to like pivot for reflections, and carving out where the handle is on the door. Like, it's always a thing with blinds on glass, which everybody wants.
Hard. That was hard. So hard.
Yeah. So I know that struggle. So that's why I was keyed into that a lot of looking.
Yeah. And these were hard because, I mean, this is more Maya, right?
Yeah.
And so she was crying about all that, which is understandable.
Yeah. And then did you build his desk?
Yes.
Because that secret compartment, I thought, oh, that would have been hard to find in like cool desks.
Yeah, and it wasn't as nice as it appears on film. Hopefully, you didn't watch it in 8K.
No, I did not. But I thought it was pretty nice. I just recently had to get a really modern desk, and it's hard to do, and they're super expensive. So I was like, oh, I think they built that.
Yeah, we built that, and then in Tokyo's room, this was all the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork that he was doing was fantastic.
Yeah, so I made sure it's Dante.
It's Dante, right? Yeah, with the head off.
But,
who is the prop master?
Pat Russo. Do you know Pat?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't know Pat.
It was so good.
Do I? Yeah, the church was really good too. I mean, I know that was the location, but it was lit really well, I thought.
Yeah, it was. And then I kind of, ripped it had red carpet all over it, and I ripped that out and redid the floors, and I mean, it was, everything was a lift,
Yeah. It is, because they're mini movies. Did you have, like, what do you think the biggest challenge was? Like, which set was the biggest challenge over the season?
I would say the club and the back, the smelting room because I really layered the walls.
Mm-hmm.
I really, I couldn't afford what I wanted.
Mm.
I had to do it with plaster and paint and multiple paint colors, and it wasn't that easy to get, because I wanted to really have like a yellow ochre kind of come through and I wanted to feel like very rust colored, so and then cement underneath, so it was layering without having the money. And then and then also really getting the layers, because I was very, Beth wanted to kill me.
Because paint was still wet because you kept changing your mind? You kept layering?
The layering was not very clear. She was like, oh, this is difficult to understand. And we spent a lot of time making sure that I had a lot of conversations about.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be orderly, but also lived in and also makes sense. So it was a workshop, a wood shop, a smeltering shop. I mean, smeltering. So it needed to have. Here's some of that.
Well, yeah, because the guy's been there for years and years working, and then.
Right.
I was
And
surprised
then
it was only 8 episodes. I was like, oh, wait, I'm on the last episode. I thought it was going to be 10.
I know. It's just like, and they left a lot out.
Oh.
I mean, well, not, they didn't leave a lot out. I just was hoping to see more things. And I think some of it.
Yeah, I think her summary at the end of his character, Ellen's summary of him, was really good because I didn't think of all the things. Like they spun a positive vibe on him being there, and
well, is it a positive vibe?
I mean, she was trying to play it that way, but maybe she was only trying to play it because then she got to be the boss, and then did she make a deal to make the boss? Like there's so many questions at the end.
Right. Yeah, and that's Tony's style, which I love. You know, Tony, the showrunner. You know, if you know The Servant, did you see The Servant?
Yes.
And so, you know how there's always two ways to see it. It could be circumstantial, it could just be a coincidence, or it could be sinister. It's always how it was. And so, you know, I love that about his writing. And I mean, it's really, for me, it's easy to write, easy to design for, because it's just so visual. And, you know, I was able to kind of, you know, just really easily come up with concepts and ideas. And as you know, I'm always sketching and drawing and figuring things out in a way that, and it's just my background and, you know, having to come up with a plan in the middle of Shanghai with you know, options.
Well, not everyone's sketches. I am always fascinated about what people did before they got into the business, or like their first jobs, and designing raves has got to be up there. That's pretty cool. I mean, it was probably like a shit job at the time, and he probably hated it, or hopefully he was on something that lended to those designs, but that's pretty cool. I wonder, I should have asked him how much he got paid for that, but yeah, there's, I should also say during the episode, he was showing me a lot of his really beautiful sketches. I know that's hard to convey on a podcast, but, yeah, he was definitely trying to show some of his creative process through his sketches. And I just thank him for being on the show and letting me in there. I enjoyed The Consultant. I hope it comes back. I think it will. They kind of left it up for that. I love Christoph Waltz and just think he's a superb actor, and just interesting concept of, because like I said, you're watching the show, you think it's gone one way, and then this one little thing happens, and you're like, wait, what just happened? And then you're dying to know, even if you don't give a shit about the rest of the show, you're dying to know why this one little thing happened. So I don't know if I can give it a better chance than that, but it's good. Yeah. Coming up, we are going to start our Emmy nominee FYC kind of thing. And I'm going to start with a episode with set decorator Regina Graves, who won last year for her work on The Gilded Age. And then in the coming weeks, we have Jamie McCall for Schmegadoon, Anastasia White for White House Plumbers. I have another guest that I'm not talking about because I don't want to jinx it, because I haven't talked to him yet. That's going to be good. And I hope in time I have Erin McGill for Dead Ringers, and Rocco Matteo, who did The Rabbit Hole with Kiefer Sutherland. If you haven't checked that out, I just binged that too. You know, sometimes I don't talk about what I binge, but because I'm just prepping for shows and I don't give it away. But yeah, got a lot going on. We might even have to go to 2 episodes a week, people. This is how much I'm dedicated to giving you FYCs for Emmys. So yeah, I hope you got an earful. I'm Kim Wannett for Decorating Pages.
Welcome to Pro Tips for the Pros, brought to you by Floor & Decor Bailey's Crossroads. In this series, we'll explore essential advice for professional contractors to deliver outstanding renovation results. Let's dive in. Before starting any renovation project, take the time to plan meticulously. Assess the customer's needs, budget, and timeline to ensure a smooth and successful renovation process. Thank you for joining us for this pro tip on planning thorough renovations. Stay tuned for more expert advice brought to you by Floor & Decor Bailey's Crossroads.
A lot of people tolerate ordinary. Ordinary bathrooms, kitchens, entryways. Well, not on your watch. If you're a pro, you've got a new partner in town. Floor & Decor. From tile to wood to stone, Floor & Decor has more styles and job lot quantities of Schluter, Mapei, Laticrete, and other brands pros trust. Come see a whole new way to wow with Floor & Decor. Coming soon to Bailey's Crossroads.